Dave Weigel of the Washington Post, one of America's premier political reporters, with us now. Is the president right at some level? One race in Ohio, one race in Pennsylvania. We in the media just love to make things out of little data points.
Well, I'm in the media, and I think he's describing me accurately. but this is an important endorsement for Trump because the entire Ohio Senate race has fixated around him. You have Matt Dolan, state senator, who's moved up in the last couple of days, who said from the outset he's not going to seek Trump's endorsement. Trump should have moved on from the 2020 election. Joe Biden is the illegitimate president. No one else in the race did that. They all went for Trump's endorsement, and all their strategies really depended on getting his support. Vance got it. So you have, I do think, a pretty good test of Trump's appeal, Trump's power to move the Republican electorate quickly, because this is a complicated race where no one was never on record saying anything negative about Trump. Every candidate used that against each other. You had the Club for Growth basically like whack-a-mole attacking every candidate that wasn't Josh Mandel, who they endorsed, for some quote they'd given or some attack they'd made on Donald Trump. So it's a bit of a battle. There's much more going on in this race than the Trump endorsement. If he's able to push Vance up and build on the momentum that I think Vance is building organically, I think he can take some credit from what happens.
So if he does take credit in the primary, great for President Trump, great for his fundraising. How is it for Republicans? Tim Ryan, the Democrat who will face them come November for this Ohio Senate seat. Tim Ryan, 37%, J.D. Vance, 36%. We're beating J.D. Vance in the polls by a single point. He's backed by billionaire Peter Thiel's $13.5 million super PAC and Donald Trump's endorsement. Once you tie yourself to Trump in the primary, there's no way to run a Glenn Youngkin campaign and be MAGA without the crazy, is there?
That's a really good point. Vance made this calculation that instead of being he is still the author of Hillbilly Elegy, but instead of being the Trump critic who said, bashing China and supporting Donald Trump was not the answer to bring back manufacturing in rural America outside the big cities, he's now saying, I'm a MAGA guy. He's taken some far-right positions. Some of them might be popular, some of them are not. But you're right, he's not running as a Mike DeWine, Rob Portman Republican, and those are the guys who have won in Ohio recently. Now, the state has moved to the right. It's a bad year for Democrats. But you talk to Democrats, they are more worried, maybe they're wrong, about Dolan because he's seen as more of an established conservative Republican, but not one who's going to jump up and down when Donald Trump says so. And they have Tim Ryan, who still has a primary challenger, but somebody who has ran against Nancy Pelosi for leader of the party at one point.
Well, he's got sort of real. He's got centrist Democrats bona fides, no question about it. You're right. He still faces somebody in the primary. Politico headline tear: Biden world wants to make the midterms more about Trump and hopes Elon Musk helps. Bigger picture, there's nothing that Democrats would like more, despite their statements, and nothing every political reporter would like more than President Trump to get his Twitter feedback, right?
Yeah, Democrats have moved to that position. Terry McAuliffe, I think, said this quietly when he was losing the race that we just talked about last year, that it was hard to convince voters that Trump was relevant, Trump was driving the party in that race. But you made a good point earlier. Trump was not going around Virginia barnstorming for candidates. He was putting out a statement and staying out of the way. He's much more involved this time. If you combine Trump rallies plus the Twitter feed, he's going to be in the conversation a bit more. Does that help Democrats when they're in power and when people are angry about inflation and other issues that have exploded under their watch? I think that's a good question. I don't think Democrats have the answer to that. But they do think that there are voters who voted for Biden, took a chance on him, are disappointed, but are really not happy about the idea of going back to Trump for all sorts of reasons. Right. I mean, January 6th on down. And they think that in a race, in a year when both parties are fairly unpopular, that's better for them than a year where one party has a fresh new brand, like it did, frankly, in 2010, the Tea Party year. They didn't have one big leader of the Republican Party they could attack. They think they're in better shape if they have one they can. Famous last words, but that's the theory.
I think that's a good place to end. And a reporter who said that President Trump described him accurately is an interesting one. Hey, Dave, it's always fun to have you. We got to do this more often, all right?
Yes, let's do it. Thanks a lot.
For sure. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.